Hello everybody, Loter for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time around, it is my Cardian deck profile. Cardians, I really like, but they have a few issues, most notably how linear the deck is. Like, they're just about as bad as Cubics whenever it comes to how small the extra deck is, and that it's literally just 3 of 1 monster because the deck literally cannot go into anything else due to the restrictions and everything. But, however, the deck has a lot of draw power, a lot of consistency, and it's a lot of fun to play. Not to mention, the boss monster is just totally awesome and can really screw over your opponent, and for a lot of decks, can be a really hard monster to get over. So, let's go ahead and get through the deck profile, or restart it. Whoops. First and foremost, 3 Flower Cardian Pine. I don't know why Konami added the word flower to every Cardian name. It's not needed, I think. Anyway, so aside from the name, Flower Cardian Pine is an amazing card. He's the main monster you need to get a hold to, because without him the deck kind of falls apart, because all the big monsters can't be summoned unless you have a dude who's a lower level than them out. And this guy's the only one who can be normal summoned easily, or he's like, you know, actually on an average basis. So basically when he's normal summoned, you get to draw a card. If it's a Cardian monster, reveal it, add it to your hand. If it's not, it goes to the graveyard. And if he dies by battle or card effect, you get to draw a card, which is really nice. And all the cards, or at least all the monsters in this deck, have some sort of way of drawing cards. And that's the whole point of the deck, is that they can just draw. It's really stupid. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that they all say if it's not a Cardian, it goes to graveyard, I would honestly kind of want to build a friggin' Exodia build of this, but I'd be scared too. So, with that being said though, this guy is really awesome. He's absolutely necessary at 3 for the deck. Honestly, right now, they're all necessary at 3 until we get more to support in the next set. Now, the next up is Flower Cardian Pine with Crane. So basically how Cardians work is you have the standard version, and then you have the upgraded version. The upgraded version basically can only be summoned by attributing off the old one. So for instance, Pine with Crane can only be summoned by attributing off Pine. And when you do summon these upgraded versions, you can draw a card. And if it's a Cardian, you can either add it to your hand or special summon it. And if it's not a Cardian, it goes to graveyard. They all also have some other effect to let them draw. For instance, this guy, if he battled at the end of the battle phase of that turn, you get to draw a card. Really nice. That's not once per turn either. I mean, it kind of technically is, since there's only one battle phase, but if you have multiples of these guys out, you get to draw like multiple cards. Next up is Flower Cardian Zebragrass. Zebragrass is really important to the deck because it's level 8, it's dark, and of course it has a really good shuffling effect. Whenever you summon it, which you can do so by just having a level 7 or lower Cardian out on field, you can just plop it onto the field. And when you do, you can reveal any number of Cardians in your hand, shuffle them back into the deck, and then draw an equal number of cards. This can be really helpful to unbrick your hand if you have too many of the advanced forms or such, and it just really helps out the deck quite a lot. Then you have its advanced form, Zebragrass with Moon. As I said, you can always summon it by attributing off Zebragrass. When you do, you get to draw a card, reveal it if it's Cardian, add it to your hand, or special summon it. If it's not, it goes to grave. And then, if I remember right, yeah, he's the one who destroys a monster by battle. You get to draw a card. So anytime he kills a monster in battle, just draw 1 card. For free. Granted, he has 2,000 attack and 2,000 defense, so he's not going to be running over everything, but it does actually help out, and it really does matter from time to time. Also, I love it how it has the Wicked avatar on it. Like, seriously, I feel like the Wicked gods don't get a lot of love. Next up is probably one of the most important cards of the deck, because his advanced form is the Tuner, well, Cardian Willow. So Cardian Willow, he can only be summoned by if you have a level 10 or lower Cardian, because he's level 11. Whenever you do, I don't think he has a when he's summoned effect. No, he does not. But however, once per turn, you can just target a Cardian in the graveyard, shuffle it back in the deck, and then draw another card. That is really good. It's a bit slow, but it can really help out, as one of the spell cards heavily relies on having one of each of the standard forms of the Cardians in your deck. And so this just really helps out getting your stuff back in the deck. This deck burns through its resources so fast, it's not even funny. I just wish it was like 2 cards or 2 Cardians. Like, seriously though, because there are times where you'll have so many Cardians, and one once a turn is just not enough to get them all back in your deck, or even a significant amount. So you really gotta be picky and choosy as to which ones you want to send back to your deck. Granted, I usually send whichever one I have the most of in the grave back in the deck. Next up is the Tuner, the most important card in the deck, in all honesty, because he summons out the Synchro. And the Synchro is your win condition. Like, literally, honestly, I've only ever won with this deck once when I couldn't get the Synchro, and that's because it is just an OTK beatdown. So, basically what the Tuner does is, obviously, you summon him by turboing off Willow. This is Willow with Calligrapher. Basically, whenever he is summoned, you draw one card. If it's a Cardian, add it to your hand or special summon it. And whenever he's used for a Synchro summon for a Cardian Synchro monster, or I believe for any Synchro in general, otherwise, blah, blah, blah. When this card is used as Synchro material, you can treat all other Synchro materials that have a level as level 2. So that includes him and every other Synchro materials as level 2. Which is really, really necessary because the Synchro is a level 8, and obviously you can't like Synchro into a level 8 with a level 11 Tuner. That being said though, he is vulnerable to your opponent negating that. It's not a condition, it is an effect, which is a bit annoying, but so you gotta be really careful. And if you don't ever see this guy, it's gonna be really hard to win. I've had games and days where I just go game after game after game after game not seeing him, and I keep losing because even though I make these huge boards of a whole bunch of monsters, my opponent can just crack them all because, well, I don't have the Synchro out, which is really obnoxious. Granted though, I believe we are getting another Tuner in the next set, which will help out with the not seeing Tuner issue. Next up is the level 12 Flower Cardian Polonia. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Basically what this guy does is if you have a level 11 or lower Cardian out, you can special summon him. If your opponent targets this guy as an attack target, you can negate the attack, end the battle phase, and draw one card. So he's like a better version of Battle Fader. Granted though, your opponent has to target him for an attack. And in my experience, most of the time, my opponent will just either destroy him with a card effect or bounce him back with Castell and then attack over everybody else, which is a bit obnoxious, but however, it's just how things go. So really don't count on relying on protecting yourself with his effect unless your opponent can't destroy him through a card effect or remove him through a card effect, which doesn't happen that often. That being said though, he still really helps out and everything. Next up is Polonia with Phoenix, and that's a spirit monster if I remember right. That's a crappy level 6 spirit monster who destroys all set back row. Basically, what this guy does, obviously you tribute off Polonia, special summon him, draw a card. If it's Cardian, add it to your hand or special summon it. If it's not, go to grave. If he does battle damage, you get to draw a card. Just plain and simple. It's really nice, really helpful. Again though, 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense, as it is with every single advanced form Cardian, is just not enough to consistently do a crap ton of battle damage. Still though, it's enough to where it does help out from time to time, and it doesn't have to be battle damage to a monster or anything. It just really does actually kind of help out from time to time. It's just sometimes if your opponent has a 3k beat stick, he ain't punching over that. Now for the spells. First and foremost, Flower Gathering. This card is the main power play for Cardians. Basically, when you activate this card, you cannot summon anything except for Cardians for the rest of the turn. And when you activate this card, you summon out 4 Cardians with different names with 100 attack and 100 defense from your deck with their effects negated in face-up attack position. They cannot be tributed for a tribute summon, and basically you cannot summon anything except for Cardians for the rest of this turn. Really broken card. You just get 4 free monsters. There's no cost on it whatsoever. You don't have to discard your whole hand or anything stupid like that. You just summon 4 free monsters and then make your plays off of them. It's really stupid. It burns through your deck so fast. It is limited to activating 1 per turn, which is a bit annoying, but it's understandable why, because of how just powerful this is. That being said, though, you have to have 4 different Cardians with different names with 100 attack and defense in your deck. So let's say you open all 3 of your Pines, you're not going to be able to activate this card until you shuffle one of those back into the deck with Willow, which is very, very obnoxious and kind of annoying. I can't remember if we are getting any more 100 attack, 100 defense Cardians in the next set, but I hope we do because we really do need them. Because honestly, there are so many times where you just draw all of your Cardians with 100 attack and defense, and you got to rely on using their actual effects other than just discard, which is a bit obnoxious. Next up, 3 Other Darkness. The entire deck is dark, and it just helps you get to your combo pieces and draw. You don't really mind banishing your Cardians. You usually just banish one of the advanced forms you don't need, or something else that you just don't need at that moment. Speaking of drawing a crap ton of cards, triple trade-in is a must in this deck. You play 6 level 8s, so you're able to just draw so much. And not only that, but also with the Cardian effects to draw, triple alert, triple trade-in, there's just so much draw power this deck has, it's not even funny. Like, it is just really not funny. Granted, I'm laughing, but again, it's just not funny at how much draw power this deck has. It has that much, and even more so with what I've got coming up next. Next up, 2 Twin Twister. Back row is the bane of this deck's existence until at least you get the synchro out, so you gotta really get rid of that back row. One day a piece. I feel like it's kind of necessary sometimes. It helps you get to your combo pieces, and it prevents your opponent from doing any damage to you for the rest of this turn. Granted, it also prevents you from doing any damage to your opponent. But, however, generally speaking, that doesn't matter because this deck doesn't really focus on putting a lot of battle damage or effect damage on until you get the synchro out. Rhoda starts out the level 1s. Desperately needed because the level 1 is that needed for the deck to roll if you can't get the spell card out to just summon everybody from deck. And then 1 for the same reason as Rhoda, just simply to get to the level 1. And because I only play 1 trap, I'm also just going to plop the trap onto top of these. I play triple Reckless Greed to help out with the consistency even more. You guys have no idea how much this helps out, especially seeing as how the synchro prevents you from drawing anyways. So this, of course, this helps out anyways. And it's such a good card. It unbricks hands. Drawing into multiples along with Allure and Trade-In is just stupid. And it just being able to draw like up to like 12 cards in one turn is not... It's not okay. Now then, on for the extra deck. 1 monster, 3 copies of him. And that is Flower Cardian Light Shower. The deck can literally only make this guy. We are getting a level 6 synchro next set. But, however, right now the deck is so stupidly linear because every single one of the Cardians says you cannot summon anything that's over Cardians for the rest of the turn, and so you can only make the synchro. There are occasional times where, okay, yes, at your monsters will last a full turn and you will be able to go into a rank 8 next turn, but however, that's just not feasible this format. I've only ever done that whenever going against the stupid AI on YgoPro. So, really, realistically, you are never going to go into anything except for Cardian Light Shower and a level 6 whose name escapes me. And the level 6 isn't out yet and won't be coming out till, I believe, November. Now, with that being said, though, the level 8, which is Cardian Light Shower right here, he is absolutely amazing. He's a 3K. He needs a tuner plus 3 or more non-tuner, so he is technically generic, believe it or not, which is hilarious. I'd like to see some like non-Cardian decks try and play this guy. So, while he's out... basically, he makes it where all Cardians cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is flat out amazing. It's not just himself, it also goes for your other Cardians, so your opponent has to run them over in battle, which for a lot of decks, that's not possible. Like, really, the only easy ones I can think of that can run over this deck easily in battle, especially over this guy, the big 3K attacker and 3K defense, is Blue Eyes. So as long as you're not doing against Blue Eyes, you'll be fine for the most part. Now, with that being said, though, he has another effect where basically during your opponent's draw phase, when they draw for their normal draw, they take 1,500 points of damage, which is a lot of damage, guys. That's basically you're cutting out life points that they could have used to pay for a Solemn Strike, which that is just really, really good. You are punishing your opponent, and you are making it to where they basically have 7 turns to kill you before this guy burns them to death. Now, with that being said, though, he has a huge drawback in that as long as you want to use his effect to burn your opponent and make it to where all your Cardians are protected, you cannot draw, okay? At the end of your opponent's turn, you are given an option. Either negate his effect or skip your draw phase. And obviously, for the most part, you'll want to skip your draw phase so you can keep burning your opponent. And that is why that's actually why all the Cardians say when they are summoned or when they do such and such, they let you draw cards to mitigate the problem of not being able to draw for your draw turn. For your draw phase. That's also why you play triple or triple trade-in and triple Reckless Greed, because not only do they help you get through your combo pieces, but they help mitigate the cost of this guy keeping his effect. So, with all being said, the deck is super good, it's super powerful, it's super consistent, but it's also super linear, and the instant your opponent gets rid of this guy, the deck falls apart. And also, if you can't draw into the tuner, the deck just kind of falls apart. So guys, with that being said though, this is the deck profile. If you have any recommendations or comments or questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I do read the comments. I may not respond, but I do read the comments. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out the description down below for my Facebook, my Twitter, and all that crap. Check it out. Have a great day, guys. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and see you all later. Peace out.